There's a mistake every generation makes with money. Not the same mistake on paper. Different amounts, different decades, different economies, but underneath all of it, the exact same move. And the wild part? Every generation watched the one before them make it, shook their heads, said they'd never do that, and then did it anyway, in a completely different outfit. Your grandfather did it with a house. Your parents did it with a lifestyle. You might be doing it right now with a trip, a subscription, an aesthetic, or something you told yourself was just a small treat. And none of you were stupid. None of you were careless. You were all just following the same invisible script written by the world you grew up in that told you what success was supposed to look like. And you believed it because everyone around you believed it too. Today, we're going to walk through 4 generations and show you the exact moment each one fell into the same trap. Not to judge them, not to tell you who got it wrong, but because once you see it clearly in someone else's story, you cannot unsee it in your own. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which version of this mistake you're living right now, and more importantly, what to actually do about it. Before we get into each generation, I need to tell you what the trap actually is, because it's not what most people think. It's not overspending, it's not being bad with money. Most people who fall into this trap are actually careful. They budget, they think before they spend. Here's what it actually is. At some point in every generation's life, the world around them quietly defined what success was supposed to look like. A certain home, a certain lifestyle, a certain experience. And without anyone sitting you down and explaining this, you absorbed it. Not from one conversation, from 1,000 small moments. The things that got celebrated around you, the people who got admired, the images that told you, this is what arriving looks like. And when you could finally afford to live that version, you did, because it felt like progress. It felt responsible. It felt like the natural next step. That feeling right there is the trap. James is 68. In the 1980s, he did exactly what his generation was supposed to do. He bought the biggest house the bank would give him. And in 1983, that made complete sense because James grew up watching his parents rent their whole lives. And in post-war America, owning a home wasn't just a financial decision, it was proof. Proof that you'd made it, proof that you were stable, proof that you were somebody. So James took the mortgage. He maintained the house. He extended it, renovated it, kept the garden perfect. For 4 decades, he sent the signal. I have arrived. And here's what happened. James is 68 now. His house is worth 4 times what he paid. On paper, he looks wealthy, but his pension was underfunded because every spare dollar went into the house. The house was never the mistake. The belief that the house was the whole plan, that was the trap. James spent 40 years maintaining the appearance of wealth while quietly underfunding everything underneath it. Linda is 52. She did everything right by Gen X standards, built a career, earned well, got promoted, and every single time she got a raise, her life expanded to match it. Promotion at 32, upgraded the car, hit 6 figures at 38, moved to a bigger house. Kids in school, overseas holiday, every year. Each decision made perfect sense in isolation. She could afford it. She'd earned it. This is what Gen X was taught success felt like. More income meant more life. The problem? Her expenses grew exactly as fast as her income. Economists call this lifestyle creep. I call it the Gen X trap wearing a business casual outfit. At 52, Linda looks successful. She has assets, she has equity, but she's 10 years from retirement, and the numbers are tighter than they should be for someone who's been earning well for 20 years. The gap between what came in and what went out stayed almost exactly the same, just at a higher number. Tyler is 38, and before I tell you his story, I need to say something first. The system genuinely moved against millennials. The 2008 financial crisis hit them at exactly the wrong moment, right when they were supposed to be building their foundation. That's real. That happened. That wasn't their fault. But here's the trap that grew from that reality. When you can't afford the things that used to signal arrival, a house, a pension, real equity, your brain doesn't stop wanting to arrive. It just finds something smaller to arrive at. For millennials, that became experiences, travel, restaurants, concerts, and the culture fully backed this move. Spend on experiences, not things. You can't take money to the grave. Live your life, every lifestyle brand, every think piece, every Instagram caption told millennials that experiences were the real wealth, that the older generations had it wrong. And Tyler believed it because it felt true, because experiences were the one thing the 2008 crash couldn't take. Tyler spent his late 20s and early 30s collecting memories. Beautiful ones, genuinely. But at 38, he has very little invested, no property, and a quiet anxiety about the future that he manages by booking the next trip. The trap wasn't the experiences. The trap was using experiences as a substitute for building assets and having an entire cultural movement tell him that substitution was actually wisdom. And then there's Ava. She's 24, and Ava is genuinely impressive. She knows what an index fund is. She talks about compound interest like casual conversation. She has a stocks and shares ISA. She puts money in every month. By every measure, she's ahead of where any previous generation was at 24. So you'd think Gen Z escaped the trap. Not quite. Because Gen Z's version of the trap is the most visible one ever created. It lives online. For Gen Z, the arrival signal isn't a house or a lifestyle or a stamp-filled passport. It's an aesthetic. The fit, the tech setup, the apartment that looks good on camera, the brands that communicate, I have taste, I have money, I have arrived, to an audience of thousands. And, the cruel twist, Gen Z is doing this while simultaneously investing. Ava puts money in every month. She's proud of it. She should be. But she's also spending significantly more every month on things whose primary function is how they look on her feed. The trap for Gen Z isn't ignorance. It's performance. They know the right language, but sometimes use it to perform wealth rather than actually build it. Posting about investing while the real numbers stay small. So, 4 people. 4 decades, 1 trap, different costume, same move. Here's what the people who escaped it did differently. And there are people in every generation who escaped it. They all did the same thing. They separated the signal from the substance. They decided consciously that they were willing to look less wealthy than they were so that their actual wealth could grow faster. James's version, keep the house, but fund the pension aggressively. Not all in on one asset. Linda's version, one lifestyle upgrade per raise. Bank the other half. Let income growth outpace lifestyle growth. Tyler's version, one big trip a year, not 4. Put the difference somewhere it compounds every month. Ava's version, and she still has all the time in the world. Make the investing the thing she posts about. Build the actual number faster than she builds the look of the number. The rule, if you want one, assets first, lifestyle second, every time. Not forever, just until the assets are doing enough work that the lifestyle is genuinely paid for. That's the move every generation that got it right figured out. James, Linda, Tyler, Ava, none of them bad with money, none of them stupid, all of them just doing what their generation told them success was supposed to look like, and all of them prioritizing looking arrived over being arrived. So here's the question I want to leave you with, and I genuinely want you to sit with it. Which version of the trap are you in right now? The house that holds all your net worth? The lifestyle that grew with every raise? The experiences that felt like living but quietly replaced building? The aesthetic that performs wealth without quite creating it? Drop it in the comments. Not to be judged, because the first step out of any trap is being able to name it out loud.